Morning, ladies. You want to come out, don't ya? Let's get you out. Come on out. So I was having myself a cup of coffee and walking around the garden to check things out. And I saw something and I was like, I need to go grab my camera for this one. Here in our lovely tomato patch, we have ripening our first sun gold. I'm so excited. You can see the tint of orange it's starting to get. It's probably only about 2 days away from turning full color. The rest of the tomatoes up here are looking super healthy. We have a couple tomatillos at the start here, but everything is just really starting to pack on the fruit, and we have a bunch of flowers up top. Really starting to spit things out now that it's July and heating up. This variety is black strawberry cherry tomato, and it's already looking really cool. Super dark. Most of the determinate tomatoes in the front here, and we have got so many plums coming our way. Let's see all them in there. Look at all these plums. The fava bean and melon beds looking pretty good. We're not getting as many favas as we were hoping to get this year. Some of these plants are usually loaded down with them. We might have planted them a bit too close, but we're still getting a decent harvest. But these melons in the middle here, they're really starting to take off with this heat. And we have more favas here we've been starting to collect. These are really good steamed or stir-fried. Really delicious. Somewhat polyculture bed. We have fennel and kohlrabi that we're starting to harvest. Here's the fennel. This is a good size to pick your fennel if you're wanting it to be a little bit more tender and scrumptious for raw eating. And over here we have Rory's fig trees really coming along. So this year, because we had the greenhouse, we were able to really give these a jump start in late winter, early spring. And we have got some really nice looking figs on this thing. May very well be due to the fact that we gave it an earlier start this year. You can see the figs all coming along. A couple nice ones over on that side. But we have like what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, over a dozen figs on this one fig tree. Our bees actually live here behind the mulberry trees. Let's go see how they're doing. Rory built this nice little mini arbor for them so they did not get drenched in the rain last night. That's not completely necessary, but it does help their hive last longer since it's not in the elements. Quiet morning for the bees. This is where the real activity is. Let's take a gander in there. Oh yeah. Can't even really see much else besides bees. Now we've got our honey super on, which is this top box here. And if you can see in this camera, this thin metal sheet, that's actually called a queen excluder. And what that does, it allows the bees, the worker bees, to go up through it, make the comb, make the honey, but it does not allow the queen. So the grates are just small enough to let the honey worker bees through, but not the queen. That way we do not have to worry about her laying in this box, because you don't want to have baby bees amongst your larvae, amongst your honey. And so we have that in place, and we'll probably take that off. I think it was like mid-September last year, around that time. So that'll stay up there, and they're just gonna fill that box with honey. So I'll share that with you guys when the time comes. Down this way, our peppers are doing really nicely. Can even start to see some baby, looks like yummy mix coming here. They do really nice in these raised beds. Sweet potatoes are plugging along. They did get chewed by rabbits, so that set them back. Raspberries have been plentiful, although the squirrels and birds have definitely discovered them, so trying to get out here more to beat them to them. And the bread seed poppies have not disappointed. Even their pods are severely cute. Look at these things. These are going to produce a ton of poppy seeds, both for reseeding and this is a source of food. And the honeybees absolutely adore these flowers. There's 3 bees in there right now. They love them. I love when one plant serves so many different purposes. So this is food for the bees, food for the eyes, and food for us after they go to their pods and form seeds. So it's really quite beautiful. In this mixed flower bed, we also have a bunch of calendula coming. And then back here, these collards and kales are doing rather nice. They suffered early in the season from a lot of slug and cabbage butterfly damage, but they're really coming along now. They were able to outgrow that. They're doing really nice. Same with the scarlet runner beans. More peppers and pepper boxes really coming along now. And our trellis tunnel is finally starting to fill out, except for my sad butterfly peas that just keep getting eaten, I think by voles now. Because we put up the fence, so I don't think rabbits are getting in anymore. Maybe baby rabbits, but they're just, I don't know if they're going to do much of anything this season. We'll find out. But these beans are doing quite lovely. It's really weird though. We planted these scarlet runner beans the same day and the same seed as we planted these ones, but these ones took off. These ones are taking their time. So not entirely sure what's going on here. We even planted beans, just bush beans right behind these, and they're doing fine too. So I don't know if it's a soil issue, but very strange. But they're coming along. And these cucumbers are doing well too. We've been having some cuke beetle presence and damage, but we've just been killing them as we see them. But we've got some really nice cucumbers coming at us now. Look at that big boy. This is an English slicing type, really good for salads. They have really minimum seed and thin skin, so they're really not bitter at all. And this type is a gherkin, so definitely pick these a bit smaller, like this size, used for pickling. I actually did one round of fermenting so far, and it turned out really well. So I think I am pretty much sold on fermenting pickles. So good. What we like to do too is kind of take out some of these suckering parts of the plant, especially if they're coming right into the walkway or kind of getting a little bit untrainable, because like there's already a lot going on. So you can take off some of these suckering or excess leaves, give them more space down here. And cukes might need a extra hand in training too, so you can kind of gently put them where you want them to go up your trellis. Cucamelons are really starting to take off. I think they really appreciated the early jump in the greenhouse. Same with the loofahs. These things are like really traditionally kind of slow to grow in the beginning of the season, but they're getting up there. And these are pretty good at training themselves. We have a nice little plot of radishes. Some coming along nicely. Don't grow too many of these, mostly just because we don't love radishes for fresh eating. We mostly use them for pickling or fermenting. Rutabagas are really nice. I think I might have seeded these rutabagas a little densely, but we're starting to pick them and thin them out and starting to eat them, and they are really good. Kind of like right in between a potato and a turnip for texture and flavor. And then we have salad turnips over here coming along, very nice. Probably size up a little bit more before we start to harvest them. Carrots, beets, ton of beets coming. These are looking really nice. There's probably some baby ones starting to form in here. Oh yeah, some baby ones coming along. We could start picking those. And then we have succession beans. So we planted bush beans. We planted this lot first, and we'll probably be picking these soon. Then we planted that one, and then this one we just planted. And even after getting chomped by rabbits, the celery root and pink celery is coming along. Get a close-up here of this pink celery. It's already looking quite beautiful. That'll be really cool. And some queen lime zinnias thrown into the mix. The flower beds are looking a little ravaged. We've had a couple storms of some heavy rain, so they're looking a little beat up, but once it's dry, I'm gonna go around and deadhead the most damaged or spent flowers, and then they'll reboot very nicely. The bird bath oasis is looking quite inviting. We might even clear a little bit of this out because we like to watch the birds bathe like creeps, and that's usually our creeping spot right there, and its view is being obscured by all these beautiful flowers. But I don't know, it's fun watching the birds take refuge here. The lettuce behind me is finally starting to bolt or go to seed, but it's pretty crazy. I've had this in since, you know, early spring, and it gets a lot of shade midday from this maple up here, and it really helps things like kale and greens and lettuce like not get too hot once we get to summer, and it really keeps the season extended, which is nice. And these beet greens and chard here are perfectly fine and happy. They'll keep on going. Again, this flower spot also looking pretty ravaged right now, but obviously not what I imagined the flower beds would look like. But in situations like this, you can't really get too down about it, because I mean, they'll bounce back after a little pruning back. They'll start to look nice again. And this is just all sorts of random good stuff we threw in. These sun cherries are really starting to sprawl. It's my first time growing these, or ground cherries rather. These ground cherries are really starting to sprawl. My first time growing these, so I didn't really know like what their growing habits were going to be like, but they definitely seem like they kind of sprawl outwards widely. So I might do some pruning of them next year to kind of mess with that a little bit, maybe help them grow more vertical, just so leaves and fruit aren't touching the ground. These peppers are doing okay in the ground, much better than these peppers that kind of aren't doing much of anything. Two last oroches standing after the rabbits have just murdered the other ones. I've never seen the rabbits get this close to the house. Usually this is the area where we plant things that rabbits like, because they don't get this close, but man, it seems like they will do anything to get to this oroch. But at least we have these couple plants to eat. This is related to spinach and lamb's quarters, and it's a great alternative to spinach in the heat, because it actually doesn't mind the summer heat. But you can use it just as you would spinach, fresh eating or cooked up. The hollyhocks are looking quite adorable. And this is one of our new spots this year. We have kind of a mix of things in this first bed here: peppers, carrots, beets, and this is our first onion planting. Some of them really starting to size up nice now. We'll probably start harvesting a few of these for fresh eating. And of course the potatoes coming along. Rory's had to set up a lot of vole traps, unfortunately, but they've been getting into the potatoes, which is not good. All sorts of winter squash here, different butternuts, and then our summer squash here, which one of these plants, it's already not looking super great. We've been really trying to monitor for squash vine borer, and I don't think that's what's going on here. Not entirely sure what the issue is, but for now we've just been trying to remove any disease looking leaves as we see them. And Rory keeps spraying the stem of the plant with kaolin clay or Surround, which is just a natural protective barrier to help try to keep the squash vine borer out. But we have been picking a few squashes, and that guy will probably be ready either later today or tomorrow. But yeah, what we like to do in these situations, just kind of like get rid of these leaves and throw them away, burn them, just get them away from your plant at least. get them away from the other plants. It looks like this one variety, this 8-ball variety is more susceptible to whatever is happening. These other varieties look fine, so it's another good reason to kind of create diversity even amongst varieties, or to increase your chances of getting a good harvest, even if some things are, you know, more susceptible to disease than others. I think it has been way past a week since we did week 2's garden tour, but I figured better late than never. Me and Roy have been sick and a little laid up, so I've been just trying to get things done, not film us getting things done, you know, with priorities. So yeah, it's been a little bit over a week, but figured I'd show you guys what's going on. Our second potato patch also looking quite nice, and we have another succession planting here of more beets and carrots. Anything in these further out areas we definitely have been fencing in from rabbits. Even somehow, even our onions are being chomped, and I think it's a groundhog. Could be rabbits, but rabbits usually don't go after onion greens like this. But this could be groundhog damage. In any case, something is definitely eating these, and we might just get to the point where all of our patches are just fenced off. It's more work, but it's worth doing so we can actually get a harvest from some of these areas. First, pea and fava bean planting's kind of on its way out. Here's another melon patch that's looking really nice. Definitely fenced these off from rabbits because they love melons. Garlic's really coming along. We'll probably be pulling these up in by the end of this month, and starting to dry them and start the curing process for these. This was the area we burnt out earlier this season, and we planted some peppers and watermelons in. These watermelons look really nice. Tomatoes looking awesome. Probably could have spaced out these aisles a bit more, but we'll manage. And these collards are looking fantastic. Ooh, we gotta harvest this broccoli. So preferably you'd want to harvest it before the stage where it's actually almost going to flower, because the broccoli head is the flower of the plant. But we're just a little late to it, but I'll harvest it now, and it's no big deal. I don't know how people harvest in camera at the same time. Huh?
Preferably.
What did I say?
Preferably.
Oh, whatever. But this is still plenty good to use. Still don't see any worms on it, which is like absolutely crazy to me. Usually cabbage, butterfly, and worms love these. We harvested these ones a while ago, and they're starting to throw out some side shoots now. If anyone needs mugwort, we got plenty of mugwort. This is kind of like, we call this a wildflower garden, but it usually ends up just being a mugwort garden. But we just like to allow this part of the land to be a bit more wild and natural. But plenty of mugwort. This is our cultivated black raspberry patch. So we have a bunch of wild black raspberry around the property, but we put in this cultivated variety probably like 2 or 3 years ago now, and it's just starting to really come at us. And the benefits of a cultivated variety, it's obviously been cultivated for size and flavor. So these suckers are delicious. It's cool though, it's cool because we've been harvesting the wild variety, for the past couple weeks now and keeping an eye on these, and these are just starting to bear. So right when the wild varieties just starting to peter out, these are really starting to come in, so it's kind of a nice succession black raspberry crop. The moonflower vine is really taking off now. It's nearly on top of the canopy. And I think Rory said he saw a bud on it this morning. Oh, that could be them right there. Have some buds forming. If anyone has any recommendations for really drought tolerant flowers for pots or window boxes, I'd love to hear, because my nasturtiums are looking like 100% garbage right now. We did get some heavy rain, so I think they got battered around by them a lot, but I also hate watering pots in the summer. It's like, it's just, it just takes up way too much time, and I forget about them, and then things end up looking like this. So we try to stay away from having anything potted this time of year, because they're just a pain to keep up with. They really are. So any recommendations for drought tolerant flowers for window boxes would be greatly appreciated. Thanks for coming along with me this morning on this quiet homestead morning, and yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.